What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. Now, today we're going to be talking about dreaming Spanish. Okay, why am I talking about dreaming Spanish? Well, a little bit of an update. Every 50 hours, as you guys know, I drop a video in dreaming Spanish. Not in dreaming Spanish. I drop a video about dreaming Spanish where I give you guys a realistic update on what you can achieve at that level, like at 50 hours, 100 hours, 150 hours, like what is actually possible. Like, no bullshit. This is me at that moment. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to destroy your belief in the system. I'm just presenting what is possible with my background. My background being a speaker of Esperanto, a language that shares a very large amount of words with Spanish, also has a very similar phonology, etc., etc. So basically, I should be a little bit better than most people at those hours. And most people have appreciated my videos because they know that I'm not trying to sell a false dream. I'm just giving a realistic look at the method. Now, I did drop this video right here, which is called What the Fuck Is This? Seriously, 2,000 hours of Spanish input, where I do a review of someone who's interviewed after doing 2,000 hours of Spanish on Dreaming Spanish, and he can't talk, realistically. He can barely talk, and I was in shock in that video, and that video pissed a bunch of people off. But then I had people come to my Discord and ask me, Evildea, you can't just review a bad example of the method. You need to review a good example, and I was sent a good example. And as an honest guy, I'm not going to sit here and, not take a look at a good example because, well, I'm hoping that's what I achieve. So the video I was sent was this video right here, 800 hours of Spanish immersion update in Spanish. This guy is speaking Spanish beautifully after 800 hours, at least from what I can tell. I'm not the best judge of Spanish at this level, but from what I can tell, he's speaking really, really well. Okay, after 800 hours, which is completely, diabolically, is that even the right word? No, it doesn't matter. He's completely opposite to the 2,000 hours guy. So I was watching this, and I was like, really? That's what you can achieve? But I can't really judge, because he's so far ahead of me. But he did drop this video right here, which is him speaking after 300 hours. Now, when I watched this video, because I've watched it through already, I was like, there's some friggin' red flags here. Now, I'm going to watch a bit of it with you. I'm going to point out what the red flags are, and I'm going to tell you why these are red flags, okay? So first up, he's at 300 hours. I'm at 229. So by the end of tonight, I'll be like 231, okay? Because I'm doing 3 hours per day. And that is a lot of hours, realistically, but I'm doing that because that's the only way I'm seriously feeling the progress. I have to do 3 hours per day. Now, this guy's doing 4 hours per day, so he's doing 1 more hour per day than me, but he has a language background, as in he speaks Serbian. Now, this is kind of important, but let's watch what he's got to say, because he's going to straight up speak in Spanish.
Hola a todos, ¿cómo estáis? ¿Estáis bien? ¿Estáis bien? Bien. En este video quiero hablar un poco porque por fin tengo 300 horas de input comprensible y sí, quiero mostrar mi nivel de español con 300 horas pero sí, primero yo sé que Pablo dice...
Okay, before I let him continue for a bit, I'm going to speak a little bit of Spanish. Now, I know this is not recommended in the method, but I am doing this as an experiment, and I want to show you what you're capable of at this point. Let me just move the mic to make it a little bit better for myself. Okay, let's begin. ¿Cómo está? Mi nombre es Evildea. Mi vid Pecula de hombre, sombre, dreaming Spanish. I don't even know how to say he, so let's forget that word. Esta aprender de español. That's all I can say, okay? As you can clearly see, my abilities at this point are kind of shit. Probably everything there was wrong, okay? Now, that is my first ever attempt at speaking, okay? So clip that shit for when I'm fluent, and Evildea is out here fucking whipping his tits out speaking in Spanish. But at the moment, that's what I'm capable of. And this guy, 70 hours ahead of me, is just out here speaking like it's rolling off the butt of a baby. This shit is amazing if this is 300 hours of comprehensible input. Now, there is a few issues I have here, okay? Now, we'll watch a tiny bit more, and I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to go check it out yourselves.
Siempre dice que no deberíamos hablar antes de, no sé, 800 horas o 1000 horas, algo así. Pero para mí también creo que sí es mejor no hablar antes de 800 horas. Pero en este video quiero mostrar mi nivel y quiero grabar este video porque quiero comparar mi nivel ahora con 300 horas, con, no sé, mi nivel con 600 horas, con 800 horas, con 1000 horas.
So, basically, he's never spoken Spanish before. This is the first time ever he's speaking Spanish in this video. I call bullshit. There is no way this is your first time speaking Spanish. Now, I looked at the comments section, okay, because the comments are also in line with my own thinking, like 100 hours of comprehensible input, big props to you. I wouldn't call this anywhere near fluent, but in 30 days I'll be hitting 600 hours, so I want to do a proper call with a Spanish native to see where my speaking is really at. I find it so hard to believe that you can speak this well at only 300 hours. To reach this level so quickly, I assume you have a lot of experience with language learning under your belt. Good job. I mean, I speak Serbian as a native language and English as a native language. Also, I would say I'm going super hard on input, about 4 hours a day, which kind of immersion helps a lot. Now, again, I'm going to call bullshit on this because I speak Esperanto. Esperanto shares like 60 to 70% lexicon with Spanish. Now, it's not a one-to-one. Like, the sounds sometimes are just like kind of familiar and then other times not familiar at all. But like, it does share a lot. I looked up Serbian. Serbian shares 10%. Now, he also mentions in other comments that, you know, we've got the same vowel sounds and stuff like that. Esperanto has the same thing. I'm fluent in Esperanto, okay? So the sounds of Spanish are not strange to me. I can hear them, I can distinguish them. But when they're speaking fast, even as he was speaking fast, I get like a fuzzy idea of the word. I can kind of hear like the beginning, the middle, maybe the end and stuff like that. Because still, it's not exactly like Esperanto, so therefore I don't quite get the full word. And the fact of the matter is, when he's speaking through that whole video, he actually speaks at a level which is higher than my comprehension. Now, that is another red flag, because realistically, okay, your speaking ability lags your comprehension. Okay, and if his speaking ability is better than my comprehension at 300 hours, which is roughly like a week, maybe 2 weeks ahead of where I am right now, because I'm doing 3 hours a day, then he must be like amazing. Okay, like just amazing at learning languages, or something else is going on. And I think something else is going on because there is so many like contradictory comments in the comment section. Okay, let's get down into it. God, you know what? I hate being this guy. Why am I always the guy who has to point this shit out online? Like, why is everyone just like nod, give a thumb up, and then just not say anything when there's literal contradictions happening here? Okay, so let's go down. It's pretty crazy how well you speak Spanish with only 300 hours of input. I don't perceive any accent with your Spanish compared to your English. Did you start speaking earlier when learning English, or do you have any other ideas why this might be? No, I would say that Spanish has a lot more sounds that are similar to my native language, which is Serbian. It's exactly the same with Esperanto, and I'm pretty sure Esperanto has more sounds similar to Spanish than Serbian does. But I guess someone in the comments section could go do a check on that one. What did you do to practice your speaking and writing abilities? Also, do you watch streaming Spanish with subtitles? I've never practiced speaking. I did text my Spanish speaking friend a bit, but very rarely. And no, I don't watch anything with subtitles. It kind of defeats the point of comprehensible input. But to be honest, I mostly watch native content on YouTube and anime now. I'm doing maybe an hour and a half of dreaming Spanish per day. How are you able to write in Spanish if you never get the opportunity to see the words and how they're spelled? This is a valid point. In dreaming Spanish, if you're watching the content, you never see the words written except in a couple of challenge videos where they'll appear at the bottom. In fact, most written input of Spanish that I've seen so far comes from the YouTube channel that I've been watching, which is called Spanish Boost Gaming, because he will read through tutorials. It was only like probably 10 hours ago that I realized that 2 L's in Spanish makes a Y sound. Why does 2 L's make a Y sound? And then sometimes it doesn't. For other accents, I think it makes a J sound for another accent, but like, I've noticed that basically it does not make an L sound, and it doesn't match with Esperanto in that case, and I don't know if that's true with Serbian, but overall, like, even though the language may be phonetic, it doesn't, like, you still need to learn the rules of what sounds match what letters, okay? I've read an article here and there, but just like my native language, Serbian, Spanish is phonetic, it's written more or less how it's spoken, so I really have no problems with that. If I was to write, why do I say if I was to? I've done this. I've written down words that I've kind of spotted for my 50-hour updates. And when I write down those words, sometimes every now and then, I'll see people discuss those words in the comments section. Guess what? What I've written looks nothing like generally what people write in the comments section. And then I'm like, oh, is that how it's written? Never would have guessed that. Because I'm pretty sure it's not, like, it doesn't match phonetically like what I would expect from Esperanto, okay? I don't know if Serbian just somehow magically matches up, you know, the sounds to the written form the same as Spanish does. If it does, my apologies, but I don't believe so. Assuming you haven't done another few hundred hours off platform, because I know you've also logged some non-DS content, this is really impressive for 300 hours. Nice job. 0 hours off platform. What do you mean 0 hours off platform? You literally just set up here, you've done Netflix and shit. Oh wait, so let me just find it. Oh, sorry, native content. I mostly watch native content on YouTube and anime now. Yeah, so Netflix and shit. That's off platform. So which is it? Are you done 0 off platform or not? 0 hours off platform, but you showed us all the non-DS YouTube and Netflix Spanish content you've been watching in other videos. What is with this contradiction? Okay, now anyway, based on the comments and based on the comments of this video and the other video, what I've come to notice is the main differences between me and him so far is that the claim is he speaks Serbian, maybe that's helping him out. I speak Esperanto. I'm pretty sure Esperanto would help a lot more than Serbian. Okay, so let's take that one off the table. The second one is he's doing 4 hours a day, I'm doing 3. Maybe that 1 extra hour a day really does make a difference. Now, for those who are curious, because maybe they're thinking, Evildea, you're just not as focused on the content as him. No, I actually put my phone away in the cupboard, okay? I sit down and I hyper-focus on what I'm doing. I can hyper-focus. I'm a person who does that. And I literally watch the people's lip movements as they're talking because for some reason that helps me hear words better. I don't know why, but I focus in on their lips. And I do my 3 hours in 3 segments over the day. 1 in the morning, 1 at midday, 1 after the work, okay? So I'm generally not tired. And sometimes I even go for more than 3 hours. So this is not like a focus issue for me. I'm not like passively absorbing the content. But he says that he does 1 hour of Dreaming Spanish and then 3 hours of native content. That's the big difference. But that also flies in the face of everything I understand about comprehensible input, which is that it must be understandable. I+1. Literally, that's the rule, okay? So you need to understand the majority of it in order to pick up those words in context. Now, I've heard this claim from others before, such as Spencer, that maybe the native content is what makes the difference at the end of the day. You just need to absorb lots of native content and just be open to more ambiguity. Maybe that's really it. If that really is the one difference, okay, would Dreaming Spanish, the followers of the Dreaming Spanish here, would you guys be opposed for me the next 40 hours, okay, to just sit down and watch native level content? Basically, no, maybe a tiny bit of Dreaming Spanish every day. Just lots and lots of native level content movies. Because if this is what I can achieve by doing that, or at least something similar to that, because I'm assuming he's done this for a lot longer, then that would make sense to do that, as opposed to just watching lots of Dreaming Spanish content, okay? So, but at the same time, I know if that doesn't help, and in fact, if it impacts on my ability to learn this language, as in I don't progress as fast as I would if I hadn't done that, people are going to say, well, now this is not a good representation of Dreaming Spanish because you didn't do Dreaming Spanish, you did too much native content. Now, I feel personally that this is a big red flag situation right now. Like there is something going on. You cannot be just done 300 hours of input, 0 practice, and sit down your very first time ever and just start speaking that fluently. Nah. Why does everyone keep telling me that this is possible? And when I say everyone, I mean a very select few YouTubers. Now, there has been another YouTuber who said the exact same thing, and I actually disproved him. Like, I got physical receipts to show that he was bullshitting. Okay? I'm hoping this is not that situation because I don't want to blow another 50, 70 hours on watching native content, testing out this theory just to find out it makes absolutely no difference. There is plenty of movies I can watch on repeat that I absolutely love in Spanish and it will not bother me. But I don't want to impact on my Dreaming Spanish journey if that's not actually what was done. So, if the YouTuber who made this video, you may be watching me right now and going, man, this guy's an ass. If you actually did this, you're probably looking at me like I'm some type of fanatical conspiracy theorist, which makes sense if you actually did do this and you didn't do anything else. But is this what you actually done, my man? Come on, tell me. Did you do any conjugation tables? I can't even hear conjugations at this point. I can hear a couple of them, a little bit. I don't know what they mean, but I can hear the pattern for them. So, How? Just how? Okay, well, anyway, guys, this is my thoughts on it. I know this was meant to be a positive video, But at the same time, I feel like I'm being lied to again. And this seems to happen quite a bit. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you all in the next video.